Hi, this is Janos, it's Real World Audio, and it's time to reflect on the sound of the Grande, this little project that we are continuing or we have just started talking about myself and those of you who are brave enough to try it out. And in a forward, the special thing about this is I am attempting something with these little speakers that was never ever attempted before, and I'm using some principles that are not used at all in the audio world, and one of them being the tuning the cabinet to musical notes, and also the second one is the liveness of the cabinet. And of course there's tons of people building live cabinets, but what I am attempting here is to build a live cabinet in a simple way, in a fashion that's more easily accessible to all of you, and in a fashion that when you start building the speaker, you can start out with a simpler version and then later on refine it. So it's not like if you don't have the full skills for it or the full tool set, you just forget about it. No, you can start somewhere and then later on move on. So as it is with anything like that, when you introduce something new to the universe, you have to fine-tune it, work on it. It won't be perfect in the beginning, and also the driver itself needs to break in. And already this is my day 7 of listening to it. Actually, I haven't turned them on yet today. I just woke up, but it will be day 7. So I have now a little bit more of an impression to share about them. So I will start this sharing about answering 2 comments on the video of the sound sample that I published, and these were written by Edward and Jimmy, and both of them are correct. Both of them made excellent observations, and Edward noted a few failings and a few problem issues with it, and Jimmy noted a few problem issues with the recording itself, and both of them are right. So yes, I use the onboard capsules of the Tascam recorder, and yeah, I think it's a halfway decent recorder. It makes a much better sound than a cell phone. It makes much better sound than the video cameras on board, built-in little tiny microphones, but it's really, it has its own issues. So one of them that I noticed is that here in my living room, if I want to record anything with it, then the bass will not be representative of what's going on in the room, and it's going to pick up room reflections or room modes very, very differently from how my ear picks it up. And so far I found it impossible to find any location, any specific location to place the Tascam in my room to give anything that is even remotely similar to what I'm hearing in the room. Upstairs the situation is very, very, very different. In my upstairs room, I can still hear the failings of the Tascam, but there it has a relevance. I can really say that, yeah, that recording was done in that room, because it sounds like similar to that. Or at least that recording can be used, that yeah, that is in relationship to what was recorded. Now in the downstairs room, that totally breaks down, and I had to toy around and try out different positions to record, and I placed the recorder where my ears are. So I was first like listening where I positioned the recorder. I also listened how does it sound over there, and it was a total crapshoot, because I found the place that I published this recording that's where it sounded the weakest and most unbalanced to the human ear. And when I listened to the videos, that's where the video sounded relatively the most balanced. And at the listening position where I listened to, there it sounded just it did not have at all any connection to the actual listening experience. So that recording was like a totally different system in a completely different room. Just the two of them didn't even match up. So anyway, I think that's something that we need to take into account, and it's not just happening with La Grande. It's been happening with every loudspeaker I measured. So that's why when I released the Voice of Lancelot sound samples, they are just so abysmally unrepresentative of what the speakers can do. I have no words for it, but that's all I can do, because I cannot move them upstairs in my upstairs room. They are just too big for that to be carried on the stairs. It's not possible. The only way to do that would be to take them apart into pieces and then bring the pieces down and build them together. No, I'm not doing that. And I don't even have the space upstairs to put them in the room, so that's not an option. So I think that's one thing that I face right now, the impossibility to give any sort of even a remote attempt of justice how they sound. And the second thing is that they are not here. I cannot position them in a positioning for them to shine. And what Edward has noticed, that there's an unevenness in the bass response. That's partially because of that, because they do not have the proper mid-bass support from the rear wall. They are pulled out too much. And that is for two reasons. One reason is that if I would pull them any closer to the rear wall, they would become in the shadow of the Voice of Lancelot's. And that would just totally compromise the imaging of the speakers. And the second, I cannot put them any further, because I have the amplifiers there and my equipment rack there. So this is the max I can put them back. And yes, this is going to create problems for them. And also there's a third reason, is that I have not set the optimal height of the speakers yet. I just put them on the floor and they are as they are. This is really far from what they can do when compared to placed optimally in a room that can record better. And I'm not sounding this room sounds bad. When I'm listening here to the human ear, the experience is outstanding. But recorders, they do not jive with the human, so it's just not possible to find a recording. Also in the room, depending on the position where you are, yes, you will have very different experiences, but and I will later on talk about that. But you can, based on the location, you can choose really distinct spots where you have very different type of presentation given to you, but you can enjoy the benefits of them. And it's not like this is broken, that's broken, that's broken. No, it's like listening to three different setups from three positions, and I find that truly refreshing, because one of the things that people are getting truly bored and disillusioned with audio is because they have one system and they hear the same sound every day, and if it has the same problems, same failings, then they are going to get tired of that. They want diversity, and if you can have the diversity but just by choosing your listening position, then you are in heaven. You never get bored. You just, sometimes I'm in the sofa, sometimes I'm on the couch, or just move over there. Anyway, so that's one thing for the application notes. So to help you understand what's going on. And one more thing is that Edward talked about unevenness in the bass, and yes, there is something going on that's going beyond the room placement and recording issues, and I'm going to talk about it on a separate video. So thank you, Edward, thank you, Jimmy, for your excellent and very astute comments, and thank you everyone who has commented. And I don't know how this sound recording turned out. I'm really curious. I have listened to it only on my laptop, so I don't really know whether it is how close it is to what I hear. I have yet to listen to it through YouTube through the sound system. I will be very curious, especially listening through it through the voice of Lancelot. But until then, just thank you everyone for your comments. But until then, yeah, I remembered what I wanted to say. And what I wanted to say, that what I heard on the computer through my Grande headphones, that didn't even come close to do any sort of justice on the strength of the Grande sound. And I try to do like all sorts of positionings, everything, and one thing that I noticed on my computer, if I change the volume at certain volumes, it resembles more what I'm hearing, and if I click 2 clicks higher or lower in volume, it completely collapses. So that's something to note. But other than that, even at the most optimal playback volume setting, it does not give 2 of the strength that I find make the project worth to build. And these 2 factors, one of them is that immense space, and that's something that you can never ever play back at home on your system. How the space is represented, that just gets lost in a 2-channel mic thing. It cannot record that experience that your human ears can gather from the image around you. Microphones cannot record that, and that's something just so outstanding that apart from the voice of Lancelot, I never heard anything do that sort of image. That it's I'm not even just talking about image, but sound that fills the room. And that alone, I think for most people, is something that if you've been an audiophile for 30 years, you've been listening to sound systems, and you hear that sound and just eyes wide open, like, what's going on? I didn't think this is possible with loudspeaker technology, and it is. And they can do that, and that's not going to come through any recordings. And the other thing is that they have the emotional factor to them. So whatever I'm listening to it, like yesterday, we've spent like with Nelly 8 hours listening to it non-stop, and we were just like having fun, and it plays music in a way that you cannot just sit in the chair. You just hum the song along, get agitated, tears in the eyes, emotion, like that emotional factor is to the max with these speakers. So I think this is something else that is not coming through as well. And yes, it does have faults, it does have weaknesses, and I'm going to talk about that in a separate video, or probably videos. I already have identified several of them that it can take probably an hour plus to talk about them. And Edward, you are on a right track. You have clearly identified these failings, but what I can share about them right now at the end of this video is that they are not deal breakers. So if you have these type of failings on a traditional loudspeaker, yes, they are absolute total freaking deal breakers. You wouldn't want to touch those speakers with a 10-foot pole. But here you have these advantages that I was talking about, and people would just say, okay, I don't care about any weaknesses at all because I have tried going for the perfect sound speaker path for 20 years, and yeah, it sounds perfect, but I'm sitting in a chair and I'm falling asleep, and a month later I don't even want to turn the bloody system on because it's just, why? It doesn't make any sense. It's just a waste of time. I want to do something else, maybe go to fishing or I don't know what, ice skating, whatnot, but this is just so boring. I don't want it in my life anymore. I just wasted money on it. And that's how a lot of audiophiles feel, especially if you are on that path, that you are just looking for perfect sound and just perfecting the attributes. I'm looking for something totally different, but it doesn't mean that I'm looking for failings in the system. How I am developing a speaker is to have those attributes that make it worthwhile to listen to. And once I have those in a speaker, then I'm working on how can I keep them and get rid of those failings. And I'm trying different things, how to get rid of them. And I have tried already one thing, and it did get rid of some of the failings, but it totally collapsed the positives in it. So that for a different video. Please like, subscribe, buy me a coffee. Bye bye.